I told you that the cure for burnout and exhaustion is not necessarily rest? I know that sounds wrong, but hear me out. If you struggle to get out of bed in the morning or do anything productive when you get home from work or school, you are not lazy or broken. What you're missing is work that feels personally important to you, as well as flexibility in terms of how and when you do that work. Both of these things are internal motivators, which means that you get rewards in terms of your brain chemistry just from doing the work itself. Internal motivators are very effective. When we're doing work that is internally motivated, time just flies by and we feel energized and excited. However, most jobs and schools are built around external motivation. You're showing up for a paycheck or grades, and that's about it. Relying solely on external motivation absolutely crushes your drive over time. I'm sure you've experienced that. I know I have. If you don't like your job or what you're studying, it's really hard to get excited about it. That means you spend most of your day doing something that absolutely drains you. So when you get home, your brain is absolutely starving for some feel-good chemicals. Dopamine is typically the most easily accessible one, so you scroll, you numb, you repeat. You know it's not good for you, and you typically feel more depleted afterwards, but you just don't know what else to do. So here's the fix. Every day, I want you to do something that is just for you, just because you want to do it. Not for your boss, not for grades, not for followers or likes, just something that sounds fun and interesting to you. It can be something very small, especially in the beginning when you are still completely burnt out. But doing something that's just for you gives you some control back. It reconnects you to who you are and what you actually care about. You will build momentum and energy through consistency, even if it's only 10 minutes a day. This is not about hustle, this is about healing. I wanted to talk some more about why external motivators don't work because I found the research behind it really fascinating. To recap, external motivators are rewards that you get from outside yourself for doing work, things like money, grades, recognition, likes and subscribes on a YouTube channel, stuff like that. And here's the thing, we think they are good motivators. Capitalism is entirely built upon that assumption. If you reward or pay people more, they will work harder, right? Let me tell you about a couple of really interesting studies that were done on rewards and motivation. When both people and monkeys were given a puzzle to solve for absolutely no reward whatsoever, they actually did it. They would stick with it for longer, they would come up with more creative solutions, and they would solve that puzzle just to see if they could. I thought the study with the monkeys was especially interesting because, the researchers couldn't explain to them what the puzzles were. They just placed them into their enclosures. But the monkeys were curious, picked them up, and they actually seemed to enjoy solving them. But here's where it gets really interesting. The conventional wisdom around motivation would suggest that introducing a reward for solving the puzzles, money for the people and food for the monkeys, would lead to better results. The researchers expected that both the humans and the monkeys would solve more puzzles and do it faster. The exact opposite happened. Both the humans and the monkeys became more frustrated, gave up more quickly, and even cheated when rewards were introduced. The researchers on these studies came to the conclusion that introducing an external reward really limited or even fully blocked creative thinking and perseverance, particularly in tasks that require problem solving or creative thinking. On the other hand, subjects who were solving the puzzles just because they wanted to were more engaged, they performed better, and they reported a sense of satisfaction afterwards. The people, not the monkeys. In my opinion, introducing an external reward completely shifts the focus. Now, instead of focusing on the task at hand and if it's fun or interesting to do, you're thinking about the reward instead, and in fact, the fact that you don't actually have it yet. To me, it makes complete sense that the humans and the monkeys who are sitting there thinking about the reward that they could have but don't would feel frustrated. That could lead to a mindset of, well, I don't have the reward, therefore this is stupid, why even bother? I don't think it's surprising at all that this led to cheating and giving up. I don't actually know if they measured this at all, but I would imagine that this introduced dopamine into the equation. If you don't know, dopamine is a brain chemical that is produced when there is the potential to receive a reward. This was useful to humans when we were evolving because it would push us to explore new areas for food or try new things out. Probably also for food back then. It was a big focus. Essentially, this is how gambling addiction works. The potential for the big payout is always just around the corner, so you keep placing bets even though you've been losing a ton of money. It's also how social media keeps you scrolling. As long as you keep scrolling, you might see something that makes you laugh or maybe makes you feel outraged. There is unlimited potential for content that makes you feel something, so you just keep going. But the reality is, you mostly scroll through largely curated and often completely staged videos that make you feel a lack. They make you feel like you need to buy certain things in order to feel happy. So now you like the monkeys and the people solving the puzzles for an external reward, are focused on what you don't have, which is very frustrating and exhausting. So now you're in a place where you spent pretty much all of your day at a job that you don't particularly like and drained your energy. Then you came home and looked at your phone for 3 hours, and that just pointed out all this stuff you don't have. And now you feel like garbage. Yeah, it's not really shocking that you were exhausted. So what can we do about it? You can't exactly go into your job or school tomorrow and say, hey, I'm really feeling a lack of autonomy that I think is affecting my performance here. Can we just restructure the way we do everything? So instead of that, you're gonna start working on projects every day that are just for you. I know, I hear you. You're drained, you're exhausted, you couldn't possibly find the energy for that. But it's just one of those things where in order to get the energy to do the activity, you have to do the activity that you don't have energy for. So it will feel rough in the beginning. It will require a lot of effort. I'm not gonna lie about that. But here's the thing. Once you start doing things for yourself again, you are going to feel better. I promise you, you will get a way bigger boost out of 10 minutes of purposeful activity than you would out of like 2 hours of scrolling. And remember to keep it simple, especially at first. If you want to make art, you don't have to start with a giant oil painting. You could literally just get one of those coloring books and some markers and have fun with that. If you want to get back into a sport you used to enjoy, start with some basic conditioning for that. Maybe you're interested in hiking and spending more time outdoors, but you don't really have proper footwear. Start with just walking around a neighborhood park. Want to learn how to bake? Ask ChatGPT what some of the easiest recipes are, and then look up some that don't require a ton of ingredients and start there. It really doesn't have to be a lot. Consistency over time is much more important than time per day spent on these activities. The more days in a row you do it, the easier it gets. Eventually it won't feel hard anymore, and you'll probably find yourself wanting to spend more time on activities for yourself. And if you miss a day or two, don't give up or beat yourself up. Just get back to it as soon as you can. None of us are perfect, and things come up for everyone. Don't get too hung up on finding the perfect activity to spend your time on either. You are completely allowed to try out several different things to find out what feels the most exciting and interesting to you. The specific activity isn't important. It's the fact that you chose to do it and you have a reason for doing it, even if it's simply just for relaxation and fun. So what are you going to choose to do this week? Drop it in the comments and I'll follow up with you in a week to see how it's going. That's the end of the video. I hope you got some great value out of it, and now I have something to ask you. I'm working on a new project, and it's all about helping people feel more focused, motivated, energized, and like they're living a well-rounded, healthy, happy life and not just ticking things off a to-do list. Although we do love a good to-do list over here. Right now I'm doing short interviews to understand how people plan their time, or if they even plan their time at all. If you currently don't, I'd love to talk to you about why that is. For those that do plan their time already, I'm interested in what tools you use, what things tend to fall through the cracks when life gets busy or stressful, and what challenges there are. It's super casual, confidential, just 15 minutes, and no sales or weird pitches. I don't have anything to sell or an MLM for you to join. I'm simply looking to listen and learn from people's experiences to help shape what I'm building. If you're open to chatting, I'd super appreciate it, and I think you'd find it useful too. So far, a lot of folks have been saying that it sparks clarity or new ideas just from talking things through. If you're interested, there's a booking link in the description below, and you can sign yourself up for any time that works for you. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time.